what? You can find these deals on Rightmove. I'm like, yeah, you can. You just got to know what to do and then know the processes thereafter. I'm Simon. If you're brand new to the channel, we do this every single week, constant content, and I'm going to put it out there. Comment below let me know who does more rent-to-rent content than me. Comment below. I want to know your answers because I don't feel like anybody's doing it like me. Rent-to-rent 2.0. So on this video, I'm going to break down exactly what I look for when I'm looking on Rightmove for rent-to-serviced accommodation deals. And there's going to be some surprises because I don't look for apartments, I look for houses, okay? And I think I kind of look for two different types. I look for pretty bog standard, solid houses that can work for construction and longer term SA things. And then we look for more premium top end stuff, okay? For the more tourism and leisure. But I'll be honest with you, I love the long-term construction SAs because they stay for 3, 6, 9, 12 months. You still get the big profits, but it doesn't take as much work. So before we get into it, I will say this, right? You should know by now, I do rent-to-rent 2.0, which means we do a combination of rent to HMO professionals, rent to HMO students, rent to SA corporate, construction, and then tourism and leisure. So if you are on the fence and thinking, oh, do you know what? I don't want to do serviced accommodation. Please watch this video because as soon as you bring your search criteria from 5-bed plus properties with a HMO license down to 2-bed property plus, there's so much more of the market for you to go at. Anyway, let's get into it. So we're on Rightmove and we want to look at properties to rent because we are renting the property. And to be honest with you, the best thing about looking at properties to rent is we know that they're actively trying to let their properties. So it's going to be an easier sell. And for this example, let's try Southampton. So Southampton city centre, and we'll hit to rent. And I will just say, I have got properties from the for sale section before, but they're normally motivated people that are unable to sell their properties, and they're sometimes the ones that you won't want for SA because we want the good stuff. Top left hand side, search radius, let's just leave that for now, okay? Price range, I'm also going to leave that until we can see what we're working with. Number of bedrooms, for me, it's always 2+ for serviced accommodation. Main reason being, when you've got a studio or a 1-bed, you're essentially competing with hotels. So I find it easier, there's less competition when you go to 2 and even 3 beds. So let's go number of bedrooms, 2+, property type, don't shoot the message, but for me, it's gonna be houses, okay? I'm not interested in apartments personally. Why? I just feel like they're more hassle in terms of, you know, so many neighbors. I feel like they're harder to do the check-in because you need a key safe and a key safe. You might not even be able to put the key safe on. As well as everything else, you've got the leases to deal with and the leaseholders. And if you if you at any point break that lease, they will just boot you out, okay? I prefer freehold properties and most of those are houses. So click find properties and we can see there's 47 houses of 2-bed or more in Southampton city centre. And the great thing about serviced accommodation, right, is that naturally, there's going to be loads more properties because we're not just looking for 5-bed plus HMOs, we're looking for any 2-bed houses, for example. And 2, there's a lot less legislation, so we don't need to be concerned about Article 4 or anything like that, okay? If you're in London, 90-day rule, but that is not for this video. If you're in London and want to do this, check it out, Google it, and you'll find out information on that. So as you can see, in this situation, we've got 47 results. So I would be scrolling down and I would personally be looking for properties that look pretty well presented. And, you know, I personally quite like the 3 and 4 bed model. But because we've selected 2 or more, these are all going to come up. So first things first, we need to just see what kind of condition it's in. So this is just a solid house. Kitchen, modern and nice, which is absolutely perfect. Bathroom, not a big fan of those tiles, but it's not bad, okay? If we get some blinds up, get a shower screen and get all those all those products out, I think we can make it look presentable. Nice size rooms. Looks like there's also, I can't tell if that's in the same bathroom or if that's a different one. It could be a different one, which is great. One thing that I notice here is magnolia walls. I hate magnolia walls. So the first thing I'm thinking is I'm going to just whitewash that whole place and do a sick feature wall. And I actually quite like carpets in bedrooms. So that is something that I'd probably consider doing. Obviously, all the furniture would have to go. This room's pretty cool. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Garden's low maintenance, which is okay. So I wouldn't say this is the most glamorous property ever, but the good thing about it is it's a solid house. It looks like you're going to have at least 3 bedrooms to play with. In fact, let me go back and it will tell me exactly how many bedrooms. So we've got 4 bedrooms to play with, which means that if we potentially put, you know, some double beds, some single beds, we could sleep probably, I don't know, 6, 7, maybe even 8 people in this particular property. Okay, so I would like this. I would definitely be up for viewing it. And one thing I love to do, and I'm going to zoom in, if I can see the house number, so here it says 36. Okay, so if I can see the house number, it's going to be 38 or 34, and you could do that on Google Maps. I would actually potentially try and go direct to vendor before calling the agent. Don't kill me. I know you agents, you do this stuff too. But that would be my thought process. But that is definitely worth viewing, okay? So I like the looks of that. In fact, let me go back in that one more time and let's just have a look at the precise location. So if you scroll down, hit the map. Aha, so this is even better, to be fair, because it's in a really, really good location, judging by the map. So when I'm looking for locations for SAs, I'm looking for a few different things. The first thing is I'm looking for hotels, because if hotels are built in the vicinity, they would have done more research than you or I. So I know there's going to be demand. So I'm looking and I'm like, there's a Jury's Inn, a stone throw away. Result. Next thing I'm seeing is we are right next to the Royal South Hants Hospital. So that is great. I can see we're not too far away from Southampton Central Station. We're right in the sort of hub, to be honest with you. You can see, if you look at the bottom of your screen where the yellow is, nearer to the river, near to the house and garden, that is the city centre. So this property is absolutely fantastic. I would definitely look at viewing this property. So go back. Let's keep looking, see what else we can find. So I'm looking for properties that look pretty presentable. This one looks nice, Sapphire Court. It's actually a floor plan on this, which is ideal. And yeah, this is like bread and butter SA stuff, because you've got kitchen lounge to the left, you've got 2 bedrooms, and you've also got 2 bathrooms, which is a winner. Because if you can get construction workers, corporate workers, you know, they'd be happy to have their own shower bathroom, share the communal spaces. So in terms of the layout of this, spot on. Next, let's look at the finish. So I'm having a little look. Pretty decent. Really, really nice. It looks like it might be partially furnished. Now, what's going on here? If you look at the bottom right-hand side, you can see there's evidence of damp there. So that's not ideal, but I have taken on properties that have got damp and I've just worked with the landlord and the agent to sort it out. Can take 4 to 6 weeks. You'll just basically knock off the plaster, do a damp course, let it dry off, okay? And then when it's ready, you can paint it again. So yeah, you could potentially still make that work. It's just not going to be cash flowing tomorrow. Shower room. So, right, so that's weird. So that is actually an apartment, but for some reason it's still showing up on houses. So I would probably steer away from that one now because I don't like apartments. Some people do. You'd have to check out the lease. And I think I'll show you one more just to demonstrate what I'm looking for here. So scrolling down. Okay, that looks like a student house. This doesn't look too bad. 2-bed part furnished townhouse and private courtyard. Yeah, I like that. And I bet you're probably thinking, hang on a minute, I never thought serviced accommodations looked like this. But to be honest with you, the corporate construction stuff, you know, they're not too bothered about how it looks externally as long as it's presentable and comfortable inside for their working. So here it is, that's the front. Not the best pictures in the world, but you know, it's a pretty cute house. Definitely could benefit from some presentation. Kitchen's pretty nice. Good price, by the way, $875 for a 2-bed. Now I can see here there's some type of, you know, storage heaters, which isn't ideal. Yeah, it's quite nice. Looks like they may have even been operating it as an SA themselves by the looks of that. So that is also definitely worth a viewing. One thing I do recommend is you inquire into the parking quite early. Parking is absolutely key in SA units, especially when you've got your construction workers with the vans or the tourists that are there for a night or two. They're gonna need to park. So that is something that is an absolute must. Top tip. I absolutely love to use the map view on Rightmove when I'm looking at my location. So top right hand side, you can actually transfer it from list over to map, okay? So if you hit on map, what happens is it's the same listings, but it shows you the map view. And if you zoom in a little bit, what you can actually do is you can think, right, do you know what? I want to be near a certain particular area. So if I want to be near the hospital, all these ones are obviously going to be the best bet, and you just hit it and it comes up on the left hand side. So that's super, super handy. So interesting little look at Southampton. To be honest with you, there wasn't that much high-end stuff there, but there was some definite solid houses for construction or slightly longer term serviced accommodation stays. And one thing I've realized is that if you want to scale, I'm talking explosive scale, you will need to diversify and take on a range of properties. They're not all going to be palaces, because when you get the palaces, you pay more for the rent, which means you need to charge more, which means you're hitting the same demographic all of the time. So it is nice to have a balance of those properties. But as you could see, I'm on Rightmove. I'm looking for 2-bed plus properties. Forget apartments. You've got to deal with too much headaches. Forget 1-bed and studios. It's far too competitive. Let's focus on 2-bed plus. Use the map view so that you can hack around and see exactly where you want them. You can even set up a Rightmove account, draw your own area in maps, and then send notifications so that anytime a property in that area comes up, you get alerts. Saves you time, systemizes so that you can scale up. Hope that's useful. If you like content like this, hit the subscribe button. Any recommendations or requests that you want me to do on this channel, please comment below. Hit me up on Instagram @SimonSmithOnline, and I'll see you in the next video.